I wake up and in the windows, I open the windows of my bedroom and down, I'm first floor. Outside in the calle, I look in the street and there's always the same guy, Alberto, unpacking the boxes of fruit for the supermarket I live on.
Okay.
No? So my day starts with this human interaction, no? Joking about vegetables, about the weather.
You yell out of the window like,
Yes.
Ciao Alberto.
Sì, Albi, come va? Ah, Fede, bene. This
I
is
love
very
it.
nice.
I love it so
The
much.
only things missing is the basket.
I was going to say with the string, the basket and the string. I saw it my first time was in Naples. Do you
Yeah.
do it? Do you?
I have a friend that she's on the fourth floor, and when there was the situation in which we forgot the keys or something, we don't go up. She just
Drops the basket.
She
you put
dropped the
keys
basket, but we don't use so much.
Okay.
But it's nice to have the idea of doing it.
I mean, I have seen it a lot in Naples. Like there are people, mostly elderly people I notice that do it. And then it's easier for them if somebody helps them by sending them groceries in their basket that they pull up or
yes, because you don't have to move. You cut out the movement and that's nice.
Yeah.
And so a normal life in Venice is a human interaction in the street. That is something so easy but so rich. No, I just lost a neighbor.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, but it was the crazy old man living on the floor up mine. No, and I used to meet him on the staircase. And when I get in, yes, and he always have some jokes. When I get in the door, he was maybe at the end of the street. He saw that I was getting the main door and he said, Lascia la porta aperta. Like
leave the door open.
No, keep the door open. Without saying keep the door. Well, porta aperta. No?
You just knew.
Yes. And so you build relations on the human need on the connection, the human connection. And that's very, very nice.
It's very Italian. I mean, it's something I noticed immediately here was how the towns are built around squares. And everybody gathers in the squares. And I mean, it's so... for me, it's like a picture when I go and I see dogs running, even off leash, and there's, kids running around, of course, playing soccer. And someone's, if it's, warm weather, someone's having a gelato and everyone's just talking and everyone meets in the square. I mean, is that still the case in Venice?
Yes, it is. And this squares idea is one of the great inventions that Italy gave to the world, not the square itself, but the shape of the city.
The shape of the
city. And because now we live in a time in which the city has a totally different shape. We have districts with different sectors, no? But until 18th century, 1900, the cities were small, the 15 minutes districts in which you can walk in and have everything in it. No, it was a kind of cell of the body. No, the city is a whole body made with different cells, and in Venice you see it very clearly because each island, because the city itself, there are bridges because there are islands. No, it's a connection of bridges and islands. But each island has its own square. And the square inside, they have a well for the water. They have the church. That is the place in which the community gather. They have the tower bell. That is the timing of the community. That in Venice is not connected to the church because Venetian knew that we don't have to give to the church the control of time. The state owns it. No? They were very, very wise. And then you have the palace of the noble. That is the guy putting the money of the production, no?
Like building the town.
They're building the town. They used to build the churches, for example. And the square is the place in which all the people gather for doing sellings, market. But there are pictures of you wash the jeans and then you need a space to dry them, no? There are pictures of long line in the squares of Venice, in which people used to
hang their clothes.
Yes.
In the square.
In the square.
That's amazing.
Yes.
We're talking a lot about community in Venice, and I think that it's unique that Venice doesn't have cars. And There's a seaside town in the region of Liguria that I love because of that exact reason. It's along the sea, but the town is actually on the sea, where a lot of other towns I've noticed that there's the town, then the road, then the sea. And it's really unique because, especially for kids, I think it's really nice. They can run around without worrying, and you can go get a focaccia and gelato and whatever, and you don't need to worry about crossing the street. How's that like in Venice?
It's amazing. the most simple answer is it's amazing because you feel I coming from nearby Milan. I was used to drive my scooter, drive my car, moving fast between a place and another. The pleasure of moving also without moving legs for doing it. No. Mm-hmm. Then when you go to live to Venice, you start to think differently because each movement you do, it's made with your feet. And so you start to think with friends. It's interesting when you start to do it. You know, when you go in another place, in another country, and there's a night in which you start to dream in the language of the new country.
No, I wish. When will I start dreaming in Italian? Please, I've been learning for 2 years.
Okay, one day will happen.
One day it will happen.
All right. You will start to dream
I'll text
in
you
Italian.
On that day.
Oh, text me, please. And I did in London when I was there. Remember what the day after? Woo! And in Venice, the same is relate to the day you start to think about in how many minutes you spend to go from a place to another, but not like 5, 10, 20, 7, 9, 13.
Wow.
No, you start to be precise about how much time, like for example, train station is 9 minutes, walking fast. With the trolley, 12. It's a way to save energies and time and it's interesting. So also that you gain a relation with the people on the street, because I lived in Milan and in London, and London human interaction, it's quite hard. But in Milan, that is always Italy, it's hard to refer having Venice as an example, because when you get out your house and you get out of a private space, you cross the street and you get inside another private space that is your car. So the interaction with another human persona doesn't have much time. In Venice, you're obliged. So if you imagine we two live in Venice and we had a very strong fight between about something, no? About, I don't know what, about tourism, about...
my region is better than your region.
Yes, that's it. Well, Venice is better than the place of Liguria, you said. Like this kind of stuff, no? And we ate each other after 6 months that each morning we meet on the street, because we do the same street. You in one side, in one direction, me in the other one. We started to say... with the eyes.
Okay, because
first, you start with the eyes.
You just look at each other with the eyes. Okay.
Look at each other.
From the side.
You look from the side.
Little side eye.
Then the side look, it becomes a straight looking. Okay. No? And then you start to say hi. And then the day can pass by and you start to say, oh, we can take 6 months after, you take a coffee. And so the
conflict resolution just happens because you are just passing each other on the street.
Perfect synthesis.